So I'm in Houston, Texas, and I'm going to tell you a little story about rain. And if you'll allow me a little latitude here, it's about trying to make a point. But as it started to rain one day, the fire department decided that it was time to start evacuating people in the neighborhood. So they're traveling down the street in their fire truck and they come across a church. And they tell the minister in the church, it's time to get in the truck and it's time to go to higher ground and be safe. And the minister says, no, thank you. I'll stay right here in the church where I know God will keep me safe. And it continues to rain, and the fire department comes back, this time water up to the wheels of the truck. And the firemen say to the minister, it's really time to get in the truck because the rain continues to come down. And the minister says, no, I'll be fine here. I know that God will keep me safe. The next time the fire department comes by is in a boat because the water now is clearly up into the yard of the church, and it's really getting close to the door. And so the fire department says, sir, it is really time that you get in the boat. We need to go to safety. This is dangerous. And the minister says to the fire department, I have been a faithful servant of the Lord my entire life. I have done the Lord's work and conveyed his message to my congregation for years and years and years. I am certain that God will keep me safe. Well, the story goes that the church floods and the minister dies and drowns. So the minister goes to heaven and is passing through the pearly gates, and he sees God, and he walks up to God and he says, I don't know how you could have done that. I've been a faithful servant of yours my entire life. I have done the work of the Lord my entire life, and you let me die. How could you possibly do that? And the Lord says, you big dummy, I sent the fire department for you 3 times. Now, the point of that message is that sometimes the signs are there and we just miss them. So at this point, what I would like to say thank you to Joe and his organization for inviting me here to speak today on this January 3rd, 2019. And I would like to thank John Sanchez for taking a chance on me and allowing to come and speak to you. The point of today's story and talk is don't miss the signs. Now, this can happen in your relationships. It can happen at your jobs. But it's very important to not miss the signs. If a pitcher were to miss the signs of the catcher, the result could be a pass ball, allowing the winning run to score, costing them the game. The center must be in coordination with the quarterback and not miss the signs, or he could hike the ball, creating a fumble again and a turnover that could be very costly to the team. A naval aviator has to be extremely careful to get the signs correct from the landing officer, or the result of that could be catastrophic and perhaps even cost someone their life. We cannot afford to miss the signs. Pearl Harbor, one of the largest loss of lives on American soil, happened, and the signs were there. We just missed them. What signs could you possibly be missing? I want to tell you what happened to my company. 2 years ago, I was working for a very large dental group, and they were very, very successful. And this company was built by friends and family members of mine. And we were sold to an insurance company. And while they talked out of one side of their mouth, they tended to act out of the other side of their mouth. And they made decisions that impacted the way that the business grew to such great success. And that was through fantastic customer service. We were the largest provider of Medicaid dental in the state of Texas. And we got that way because we delivered fantastic customer service. The patient came first, always. Now, businessmen, as they like to do, like to run spreadsheets and report and analyze numbers. And when they did this, they recognized this slow but very steady decline. So they ran more spreadsheets and did more analysis to confirm what they already knew was that the company was in decline. The problem was they missed the signs. Spreadsheets are great. Spreadsheets can give you information, but they don't always tell you the reason for the things that are happening. So as a result, they missed the sign. The other problem was that the insurance company or the people that were making these decisions were making them somewhat unilaterally and not asking any information, any advice from the people that made the company great in the first place. They continued to miss the signs. So as a result, with business declining, they had no other choice but to start removing and reducing overhead. So they laid people off. They got rid of certain items that were considered to be luxuries, and they actually began to cut overhead. And one of the people that they actually laid off was me. Now, while I do miss the paycheck, I got to tell you, I don't miss the job. The last 6 months, it wasn't fun. So perhaps they did me a favor. But nevertheless, for the first time since I had a paper route in my teens, I was unemployed. But I was determined not to miss the signs. And the signs were telling me that I needed to go do something that was more valuable. I needed to go do something that I could do and love. And so I decided what I wanted to do was to go out there and motivate people and inspire people by telling them my stories. Not just this one, but I've got more. And so while I know that a talk like this is, well, I hope that it's inspirational and motivational for you to not miss your signs, I also understand that it's only one single event. And a singular event doesn't change behavior. It takes a process to change behavior. So I'm very proud to announce that today I am part of the Team Performance Institute founded by John Sanchez, because John's group understands process. And when we talked, it became very obvious that we were both on the same page. So John's group has the ability to create the process for just about any company out there in order to change behavior to drive results. So what I want to tell you is, well, first of all, thank you to Joe and his organization for having me here. And thank you, John, for taking a chance on me. But the main purpose of this talk is to make sure that you look around yourself and don't miss your signs.